Well, greetings everyone, Looney Farm Guy here with a new mod test for Tuesday, May the 31st, and we have a couple of interesting pieces here. It's the Vintage Auger Pack by Bcbuhler, 8.83 megabytes to download. They are 4 slots each on console, and we have a John Deere auger and a versatile auger, although I don't. Oh, there it is, up there. There it is, versatile. In the old school. Oh, I remember that logo. I do remember that logo. I may even have a keychain with that still somewhere lurking. But anyways, a couple of fine-looking augers, and we will find them where we find all the augers and belt systems. And here they are at the end, the John Deere 398 for $1,000. We'll explain the horsepower, miles per hour thing in a moment, but here it is. The description on the website says this is a 32-foot long, 8-inch diameter, built in the between 1970 and 1976. It will require, although it is somewhat debatable, but it's will require a PTO. It doesn't have a motor on it. It is PTO driven, right? And the versatile is the 54-foot long, 8-inch diameter auger, and requires a tractor, also PTO driven, as you can see there. Although, however, it's a little bit of a different, operation, shall we say. So let's jump in the versatile. It is kind of like a vehicle, so we'll jump in it first. There we go. So driving it, yes, you have to start the engine, although it doesn't have an engine. It says there is this ability to simulate moving it by hand. So that is. So the we're painting right trigger forward and backward. However, the steering is backwards. So just so you know, if you're trying to maneuver it, the left stick steering is left is right and right is left when you're going forward, or it's either that or the accelerator and reverse triggers are are swapped. So anyways, just so you know, when you're trying to maneuver it while you're in there, it's going to be like that. So L1 and unfold. Notice there's I can't zoom in any closer. Notice that black thing right there. That is actually that. So when you unfold it, it puts the little hopper on the end to catch the grain when you're using the auger. The other option, L1 and right stick up and down, raises and lowers. And you can see that. That's neat. The crank moves as well. That's how you raise and lower it. Right. Okay. So let's put that down and put that, fold it back. Whoop, fold it back up, because that's all. And then we have the unload here. Right. So now the John Deere. The John Deere is quite a bit more simple. It has a permanently attached bin on the end. It's the same way as you have to start it. Now this one, it looks like the steering and the accelerator and reverse, if you're pointing towards the end, is all correct. Right trigger forward, left trigger stop and back, turning right and left is correct. The versatile one, I think something's reversed. One of them is reversed. I do think it's the accelerator and the brake. Again, L1 and right and left on your right joystick, or up and down on your joystick, sorry. And this one doesn't have a, does it have a crank? Oh, there's a crank down there, right by the lower wheel. I can't zoom in any farther Here's the crank will move here as you turn it, and it raises and lowers. Of course, as you can see, it's a much smaller one than the other one. This is more for transferring from a bin to a trailer. This one's more for into a vehicle into the top of a bin. Right, now that we have those straightened out, I will show you for transport, rather, faster than 3 miles an hour, it hooks up to the tractor like so. And once it's in position, now this is the tricky part, and I will kind of show it to you in a bit, but you have to position it. You have to position the auger first, getting into it, getting it positioned exactly where you want it, because once you have it hooked up to the tractor, you can only raise and lower it. You won't be able to move it. And I will show you. Once you position the tractor to hook up to it, you have to get fairly close. There is some leeway. Let's zoom in here a little bit if we can see. There we go. So you have to go up to that PTO shaft. Like I say, it's a little tricky. It's not really big. So right about there, see that? And now you're hooked up. Now you have a little bit of flex, but only so much, and then you'll start moving the. So there's a little bit of flex in that PTO shaft, but not much. So once it's hooked up, now the options are you can still raise and lower it, but you cannot move it forward or backward anymore. And unfold it. You can unfold it to put that bin on there, and then L1 and R1 unload here, turns it on, and there it is. See, it's spinning, it's turned on. There you go, the auger's working, and that's when you start dumping in your grain. Now, same goes for this one. Same operation, it just hooks up at a slightly different spot, as you can see here. So, in the vintage spirit of this mod, I've got an old grain truck here. We have JD there. Let's it's turned on as far as I can tell. We have the auger pointing over top of a trailer. If we get in, you get the trigger. So if you back up to the auger, you will get the trigger in the truck. Now, as we're dumping in, there we go. It works. Right. And it should stop when it's full. Yeah, the auger does have a capacity. I don't know how much, because it doesn't tell me. And looking at it, the info, there it is, 1,850 liters. So it does hold about 1,800, maybe about 2,000 liters of grain in there. So it does have some capacity. Now, as for the one attached to the bin, as I said, it's really tricky. If you're filling a bin, you have to make sure it's positioned right over top of, or almost, if we get in here, we can't get in it. Sorry, it's hooked up right there. So now you can see it's a little bit off, actually. We can give it a little bit of a tug here. There we go. Right. So hopefully that's in position. Like I say, it's kind of tricky. So if we back up, and we should get a trigger. There's the trigger. And if we come up here, we'll be able to see. There we go. So, like I said, it's pretty delicate setting up. You might get frustrated. It's not for real quick, dump and go. This is really how'd they do it? Really, this is as realistic as you can probably get in this game. You have the dump coming out with the grain bin, the grain door. That's what it's for, to dump into these augers, so you can load up into your bins. This is really how it's done. The most of them have, but I mean, back then there was all PTO. You had a tractor running the auger, turn the PTO on, the thing would start going. You would dump the grain in. This was more than one person could do it, but you'd have somebody here on the grain door lifting it manually, metering what's going into the auger. You would have to know what your fill level of the auger, etc., 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 etc. So, I think that's it. If you want to play very realistic vintage style grain storage, movement, and so forth, this is the Vintage Auger Pack by Bcbuhler, 8.83 megabytes to download, and 4 slots each on console. I'm a Lily Farm Guy, and remember, it's only a game. So, till next time, bye for now.